Hey everyone, welcome to Open Table. I'm Aaron, better known on Board Game Arena as webberaj, and we've got another all-player commentary game again today. For those who are new to this, if you're not familiar with the format, basically I'm going to jump into a four-player game. I'll be playing with three others from the Terra Mystica community. The game's going to be on training mode. So we'll do our best to keep the game moving forward, but the idea is that no elo is sort of won or lost during the game. And we're basically playing open hand, hence the name. So what that really means is we're just going to be sharing strategy as we're making moves. We're going to be explaining why we're doing what we're doing, or like hexes that we're concerned about losing. We're playing a fairly like open hand kind of game, and we'll probably even go so far as to like give tips and advice to our opponents in terms of what we think they should be keeping an eye on, or that kind of thing. So people will be sharing lots of stuff on the game, even if it means that they'll lose. That's why it's on training mode. It's more about just having a good time and sharing strategy than it is actually trying to win. Today's game is going to be basically arena settings. So it's going to be on the lakes map. We've got landscapes on. Of course, mini expansions are on. We are doing it by auction, variable turn order, etc. So without further ado, let me just introduce the players that are playing today. We've got my good friend Lynsfourthblade, who's joining us. We've got Ghostly, new expert. I think he's the highest elo at this table, so expecting good things from Ghostly today. And then Rincevent, who people often probably know as the key developer to the actual Terra Mystica application, at least over the last number of months. So thanks, guys, for joining me. Welcome.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Cool.
Thanks for having us.
So let's jump over to the game board and we'll get things started up, and then we can break down the setup. So Ghostly, you're first in first seat. Do you mind sort of breaking down the setup and
C1.
letting us know what you see?
All right. Let me give this a go. I feel like a bit, when you're a kid and you see adults and you think they're all adulty and do adult things. Well, I still feel like a kid on Terra Mystica, so I'm quite amazed I'm actually sitting here. But I'll try and play like an adult.
All right.
Um, so let's look at this. So I tend to try and look at the track backwards. So immediately I'm trying to see, is it high scoring or is it not so high scoring? And that would kind of push me towards a faction with inherent scoring if it's not particularly high scoring, or one that just can buy stuff for cheap, like engineers. You've always got to check on their mix. So immediately here I see dwellings and towns at the end. So that makes me think big econ is good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, immediately on the track, I can just see lots of air and earth bonuses from the cults. So immediately then you're thinking if you can make good headway on air or earth, then you're going to be rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, cultist is an obvious choice, but there could be other ones there as well. And then I take a quick look at the bonus cards, and there's only one with workers on it, I notice, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's big buildings and there's shipping in terms of points. So without the dwelling and the TP, it's kind of middle of the road, I would say. Certainly, a faction that does a big building early would be benefited, and then shipping can be nice for most factions actually if you play that kind of a strategy.
Right. Right. And then, so what are we missing here? We're missing like worker. Oh, well, worker power, and then the other 2 point scoring. So the dwelling scoring, TP scoring, and worker power.
And I guess just briefly, you can see you can see an early big buildings round. You can see white, you can see air cult, and you can see lake town.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me think of witches. Although, funnily enough, on Nerdcube's stream, I suggested that witches love a lake town, and he said that he thought the opposite, which was interesting to me, because he thinks witches have their edge on other factions by having the town scoring, and so
Right.
if every faction is getting late town scoring, it's actually relatively bad for witches. So that
Right.
was an interesting take. But I might just chuck them in for fun.
Yeah, yeah. I've been complaining a little bit on a couple of forums and stuff about green on this map. I keep saying that they're not very good, and other people are just like, you just need to learn how to play them better, Aaron. So I would love if you could show me how to play green on this map, because I'm quite puzzled. I don't.
Oh no, well, and I guess like cultists are an obvious choice, and someone, I mean, yeah, I'll leave that to someone else
Yeah,
because
I wonder who
they
that
are just in
someone will be.
100% of games. Exactly. And then someone may think about swarmlings as well, which kind of potentially hurts witches a bit. But anyway, I've done it. I've put the witches in for a bit
All
of fun.
right. Roundspawn, what are you seeing here? What are you thinking of throwing in?
Yeah, so I was also thinking about cultists, definitely. I mean, they have double cult income for brown and air.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there was also maybe what's this in English? This oh, I forgot Darklings. The Darkling. I think Darkling will also work here, doing Sanctuary around 2,
Mm-hmm.
and also coin. I mean, they also like coin bonus on the occult. Digging, this is also good. And in general, yeah, the dwellings at the end sounds also like working for them.
Yeah, yeah. No, this does look like a good Darkling track. Yeah, totally. Um,
So one of those, yeah, I would
I think
probably.
with a priest gives them pretty good tempo on like a free spade, even though they won't get points for it
mm-hmm.
at the end of round 1.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, let me put Darkling then.
Darklings, it's always a good pick. What are you thinking, Lynsworth?
Well, I've been looking at nomads a bit for this setup
Mm-hmm.
because one of the only scoring passing tiles is the big building, and nomads they can also get shipping as well, and it's pretty helpful for them.
Right.
Game. And I've had a lot of success on yellow on this map so far. Not so much on green. I was actually going to say while Ghostly was picking that I would love to know how to play green on this map as well, because every time I pick them, I don't do super well. But even if it looks like it'll be good for them. But I have like a cheeky nomads opening I like to do, where I do like a couple trading posts and a few dwellings
Mm-hmm.
instead of like building a big building right away or anything like that.
Right.
So I think that could maybe work well with this setup and try to get a stronghold out second round. So I feel like they're okay here, especially without a color neighbor yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I sort of got the easy seat here for being in fourth seat. I'm one of these players that likes sort of like a nice and friendly kind of color wheel. Anyone who's played with me for any amount of time knows that I kind of like, I don't know, more like friendly games. So I mean, I'm not gonna pick cultists here, which is a bit of a shock. But one thing I have determined about brown, at least I'm pretty sure this is correct, is that on this map, playing against either yellow faction is an absolute nightmare. With landscapes on, Fakirs can be a pretty powerful faction. This seems to be an okay map for them. And I've noticed that with Fakirs, they're gonna get so much headway around the board pretty quickly and can eat up a lot of your brown hexes. And then with nomads, just starting with 3 dwellings is immediately so annoying. So I'm not throwing in cultists, both because, well, both yellow and black are in, so it would just be an absolute nightmare, I think, for a brown faction on this map. The thing that would make the color wheel kind of the nicest, I mean, Swarmlings are probably fine enough here, but they can, live being a bit more color sandwich than other factions for sure. But I think throwing in a gray faction or red would probably be the nicest. I guess gray. Dwarves, wouldn't actually mind trying dwarves at some point, although I find it a little bit annoying when both shipping pass tiles are in, especially when the other points pass tiles aren't, because what it really means is there's only like 5 pass tiles that dwarves can actually effectively use, and there's only one of them that scores them points, so that's a little bit annoying. So I think I'm probably just going to toss in engineers here. It does seem like there's a decent bit of scoring that can be done in the track, building sort of trading posts either in round 4 or 5. One thing I sort of think about with a town event when I see these, and I think this is pretty common, lots of people would say these, but I sort of view those events as effectively trading post events, because most of the time when you're founding towns, I mean, you need to build up to some degree. So it often means like a sanctuary or a trading post. So you sort of have a bit of a repeated event there. But I think if you could get out a bunch of trading posts without triggering your towns and then building them up to be able to hit the 5-point bonus in round 5 could be pretty good. And I think engineers could probably hit a couple of towns by then. So yeah, so we'd have yellow, which is our in, which is Really annoying, actually. What am I thinking? Witches and
I actually find,
engineers.
Aaron, though, that engineers have a better effect on witches than they have on engineers on this map. So
Give it a shot. Most base map, you know, most people playing on base map would find green and gray totally awful against one another, but I don't know. We'll see how that pans out and how that translates over to lakes.
Interesting. Okay. I did a classic thing where I put in witches and I suddenly just started identifying all the reasons why witches would be terrible, which is often what I do at the beginning of games.
Right. Not bid on the faction you throw in.
Well, no, believe one thing and then start getting doubt.
Right.
So make a decision and then start questioning your decision from every angle.
it's hard with first seat, though, because you throw a faction in and then you're like, wait, they can pick a bunch of stuff that might mess up this faction now.
Yeah. And also you're going to get the worst pass tile guaranteed in first seat. So I'm going to go engineers. Just
Really?
because I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I'll take Darklings for 30 if no one wants them, if I really have to.
Yeah. There you go. I made a decision.
Unsandwiched Darklings.
Yeah, I think Darklings are the best here.
Yeah.
I also trust you guys to bid down Darklings.
I think if Darklings could get some priest income going, like maybe a Sanctuary in round 2, and then have 2 priests going into the dig round, that's pretty strong, honestly. Especially if they can pass on to like the priest tile and just get a few good digs in that round and set up their towns for round 5. I feel like, yeah, I think they're probably the strongest here too.
Yeah, I'll speed things up a little bit. I think that's pretty safe.
You must be right. So Engine and a half sandwich as well. So that was rash.
Yeah, I mean, well, who's the 30 faction here? I assume it's not Darklings, and it's probably not Nomads. It must be Engineers or Witches. Is it probably Witches or the 30 faction?
I think so.
Probably. Yeah, I'll bid Darklings down to 20. So, how are these pass tiles probably breaking down? I assume Engineers are starting Spade, which gives Nomads probably won't go big building, assuming they might want to hit that in round 2. So maybe they'd either take Temp Ship or Priest.
The thing about it is, though, if they go big building first round, they only miss out on a point second round, and they get an extra dig first round because of their
it's true.
stronghold ability.
So
it might be worth it.
Which would give Darklings Temp Ship or Priest. I mean, the thing about Witches here is there are 4 decent, like, starting pass tiles in. Witches will either get probably, Temp Ship or Priest in first seat, then? Because if Nomads don't take big buildings, Darkling might. In second seat, they have a, decent enough chance of getting Sanctuary round 1.
I think Witches with Temp Ship here, too, is pretty good, because if you start C2, you automatically get another place to put a dwelling right away.
You get locked out there so easy, though. I've seen so many games where you start C2 and then you never get away from C2, or at least from Northwest.
Especially with Gray in the game, because they could take F3 from you, and then connecting is so hard.
There are nice Nomad starts as well with Temp Ship. Quite easily get 4 dwellings out if you go down that route.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'll probably take another point off of Darklings before I start jumping around.
Oh, I see that. Someone's gone for engines.
Yeah, I mean, Nomads are probably better, but we'll just overbid Engineers. So EJ's in chat. Hey, EJ, saying that we get to play Guess Where in the UK Ghost Slay's from this week. That's a fun game.
See if we can draw it out for the entire game.
I wouldn't know where to start. EJ, you would maybe have NGS the 30 faction here. Really? Over Witches. Fair enough. Hey, L4.
People keep telling me how strong Witches are on this map, and I'm like...
Yeah, people keep saying.
I can't do it. I can't figure it out. I play so badly on them.
Also,
I guess I feel like if Engies and Witches are half sandwiched, then probably because NGs can get everything so cheap, then they're slightly better. So I would have thought Witches or 30 faction here, but I mean, again, I feel like a child playing as an adult, so I don't know. webberaj, you love NGs though, right?
Yeah, I tend to overbid NG quite a bit. I mean, I'll pay more for factions that I know how to play well, which unfortunately are just like the S-rated factions of Terra Mystica, like cultists and engineers. So everyone pays a lot for them, and then I just pay even more, and then sometimes it works out.
I've seen you play them so well though. I remember playing with you, it was ages ago now, but like you looked in such a tight spot on base map with NGs and ended up winning, I think.
Yeah.
You know them.
Aaron tends to be really good on engineers and cultists, I find. There's been times when we were talking about it too, and he would say to bid a faction down a little farther than you think they should be at if you know that you're better with them than other factions, because it still gives you a bit of an advantage because you know how to play the faction so well. So
yeah, I think that's part of auction is like, I mean, if you were a perfect Terra Mystica player and knew how to play all factions equally, then you could just be completely unbiased towards what faction you played and just pick the one at the best value. But like here, nomads are probably better than engineers. I'm sure they are, but I probably would just do a bit better of a job with engineers. So I'll actually, and I know that, so I'll probably just like pay a disproportionately, like take a faction at a slightly worse price relative to other factions. I think I can do something with them. But a strategy I used to do on Fire and Ice is people, of course, coming over from base map, had the terror of gray-green, which is a reasonable thing to be afraid of, for sure. However, I found on Fire and Ice was this funny thing where I found that mermaids were more annoying than green factions sometimes. Particularly, like witches were obviously worse to contend with than Orin. So sometimes I would toss Orin into a game if engineers were picked, because I'd get engineers at an amazing price and then figure out how to sort of play them. Because you just dig the blue actors. I don't know. It was like a sneaky strategy that it was my only sneaky strategy on Fire and Ice. I just lost all the other games, but that was my one sneaky clever thing that I could do.
I agree. Engineers could handle green on Fire and Ice.
Yeah, I found their key choke point
games
hexes.
on red.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I had a couple good games on red on Fire and Ice too, and even against red, I found that Aaron was able to beat me a few times with NG on that map.
So Terra Seal's in chat saying green is awful on this map. I appreciate you saying that because I kind of feel like I was just going crazy here.
Actually, don't know here if yellow is 10 points better than Darklings.
I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, a stronghold nomads, is your game plan like hitting 3 towns in round 5? And by stronghold nomads, I mean like round 2 stronghold.
I think hitting 3 towns in round 5 is the goal as nomads in this game.
Yeah.
To get a lot of points. But also Darklings could do the same, so I don't really know.
Possibly. I think 2 towns is pretty reasonable for Darklings. The third one I find takes a little bit longer.
It depends though, because you have a dig round 3, so you could pre-prep for round 5 pretty easily with Darklings.
Yep.
In this game.
Yep.
Part of my problem with Witches is my first game I had in this season. It was an amazing Witches game, and I nailed it and won. And then I haven't played them since. So I don't know if my vision's just clouded by that. But Grey was not in that game.
Right. Can we talk a bit about starting placements? I feel like that's such an important thing in any auction as we're sort of bidding these factions down. Like, where are people apt to start here, given the seat order? And then where's the power party happening?
Probably C4 for engineers.
C4 for engineers, yep. What, Darklings B4?
Darklings, yeah.
Yeah, Darklings are definitely B4, and then either F7 or E3, I believe.
Interesting.
F7, F8, E8, D8 is such a good little like easy town for black on this map that it's almost sad to let that go.
And there could be a party H5, G3, F4 as well, or instead of.
H5, G3, F4. Oh, F4 for nomads.
H4. Sorry, H5. H5.
I see.
Those three there. And again, it was just my one ever Witches game, but I started G3 and just abandoned my stronghold, and got so much leech.
Right. With a round 2 stronghold event, though, would you open stronghold here, or would you try to do like trading posts and a few dwellings and do a round 2 stronghold, or like what do you think the best Witches open here actually is in terms of your build plan?
I feel like I'd delay it. I don't know if it would be right or not.
I mean, I guess a lot of it comes down to like what pass tile comes to you. Yeah.
EJ guesses Buckinghamshire. Interesting. I'm not even sure I know where that is.
Okay, so possibly not Buckinghamshire. That sounds so British. I have no idea if that's a real place or not, but it must be.
You have to say it's sheer. At the end, it has to be sheer, not shire.
Sheer? Buckinghamshire?
And then it sounds British.
Okay.
Yeah, then it's British.
Okay. Since we have a British person on stream, how do you pronounce? What's the correct pronunciation of the sauce that everyone puts into like gravies and stuff?
It's not Worcestershire. It's just Worcester sauce.
It's just Worcester. Okay, so
it's just Worcester.
Worcester. So I hear that on cooking shows, but how is that possible? There's literally other letters.
There's so many other letters.
So many more.
There are lots of British words that are not quite what they appear.
I see.
That's one of them. That's an extreme example.
Because like Gordon Ramsay just refers to it as Worcester sauce, but I'm like, well, what does your bottle say? Because mine, if you pronounce the whole thing, is like Worcester, and then there's a shire at the end. So it's like 4 syllables. I thought that was the correct way.
Definitely email Gordon Ramsay.
I'll email to Gordon Ramsay. EJ's second guess is Bigglesworth, Chester. Please tell me that place doesn't actually exist. That's a troll, right?
It must be.
Bigglesworth, Chester, all one word.
If it's a place, it's in the West Country.
In the West Country. Okay.
In the West Country, you get places that sound a bit like Hobbitland, or.
Well, I was just gonna say I can't tell if that's a Lord of the Rings reference or. Yeah, what's going on there? Anyhow, auction and starting placements. What is going on here? And where's engineer's second dwelling apt to be? Like, do engineers go E6 here? With witches E7?
Is great for engineers.
And darkling F7, and then witches and darklings fight over F8? Like, do witches take temp ship and try to spade this first action? We have to see something weird like that. Otherwise, darklings would just carve around F8, E8, D8. Like, how is that going to shake up? I think engineers are kind of okay with however that transpires, because you can just do like a town landscape on C7 and sort of go B7, B6 or something, assuming that, you know, you can get those hexes, get this green hex from witches or something, or bridge to A9. But like, there's town possibilities here, even if witches do start in E7 and then you just get leech. So I'd sort of, as engineers, I think, be kind of leaning towards C4, E6. I don't know.
And then do witches go D6?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Do witches go D6 or C2 here? I assume they go one of them, but
I think if you're going to try and dig F8 away from darklings, because you do have a seat ahead of them, so if you get enough power right away, you can single dig that away from them pretty easily. So if you're taking temp ship with witches, I think you start C2 just for the extra dwelling economy, and then maybe, depending on where engineers start, try to take F3 quickly so that you can get that.
F3.
Because that'll help you connect in the end. It's a pretty long connection if you go E7, C2, though.
In my games I played, F3's gone so quickly.
I know.
Well, but that's if engineers start H5? Like if engineers
Yeah.
do a split start C4 and E6 with witches at C2, well, I guess they can ship down here still, but they probably wouldn't beat witches to F3 if engineers started C4 E6 and witches had a dwelling on C2, right?
Maybe do witches get a slight edge for placing last? Like
I
engineers will
think
just
so.
worry a bit.
I think witches can place depending on where engineers place, and then have access to a bunch of hexes because they're not going to be there.
Yeah, and I think Nomad can hurt a bit engineer also, taking G2 or C7, for instance.
G2 or what was the other one? Oh, C7. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And of course C3. If
Yeah, I think nomads hurt engineers a bit here because even without their stronghold, they can contest a lot of hexes that engineers really want.
Yeah, I think someone said NG's playing against yellow and blue was like they felt sandwiched on this map.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, engineers have lots of issues.
Maybe I should just keep talking down witches, keep bidding down everyone else, and then jump to witches when everyone else is on like 4 points.
Yeah.
There's a strat.
There's the strat.
Well, that's basically the Nerdcube strat, is just to there's like all the other three factions are equal, just to like whack-a-mole through the different factions and just take another point off, another point off, another point off each of them, and then jump to the 30 faction and crush.
I still honestly feel like Darklings are like a good bid here. I think that they're better than Nomads by at least 10 points in this setup.
And they're better than Witches by 20?
I don't know, man. I think that they can
like,
pull some stuff out.
They probably are for me. I think if you know how to play Witches on this map, probably not. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it kind of seems insane to bid Darklings down 20 from Witches, but at the same time, like, yeah, I don't know.
Darklings aren't color sandwiched.
No, so they're not. It's totally true. And everyone else is fighting over hexes, right? Like, if engineers start with a spade,
There's also potential as Darklings to get 3 priests first round in this game, because Nomads and NG are probably going to take spade and big building, one or the other between the two of them. So.
True. And the scoring bonuses aren't great. One of them is the big buildings card, and presumably you get a sanctuary round 2 at the latest.
Yeah.
Exactly. So. And you're going to need at least 2 ship to connect as Darklings likely. So. I don't know. I think that there's a good opportunity to score a lot of points with them in this game. I mean, my elo is like 300, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what it looks like to me.
Who do you guys think is getting double dig here? I mean, Darklings...
Depends how much they want it, right?
I think
most... And you can guarantee it if they want it.
It's true, but they can also just take a spade. And I think just taking a spade is almost always right for most factions.
Yeah, because then you can still try and get single spade and have extra power left over after that. I feel like that's better than taking double spade and burning down to 6 right away.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm bidding Darklings on another point here. I'm going to overpay for safety here. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong, but I think the track is pretty good for Darklings, right? Like, you open with a temple, you into round 2 sanctuary, you dig a few times in round 3, like maybe twice or 3 times. You get a temple round 4 for water 1. You trading post up a bit in round 4, or finish up your towns in round 5, and then you sort of focus on network and smashing out dwellings in round 6. Like, it seems like kind of a pretty standard track for them. The big building pass tiles in. You've got a priest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird though, because now Now witches are starting to look kind of nice, even though I have no idea how to play them properly on this map.
Do I bid Darklings down more? Maybe I do. Do I want engine? Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot for Darklings. But... So, Ghosty, I see you're keeping up with chat here. You went to university in Bath?
Yeah, sorry, I was a bit distracted by
No, it's all good.
the developments.
And EJ claims that he always plays Terra Mystic in the Bath. Fair enough.
That's what we do in this country.
Yeah.
Multitasking.
So, Linz, you're just a glutton for punishment, eh? Like you swore off witches like 5 minutes
but
ago.
now
played.
They're looking pretty good here
Oh
at 30
God.
points to Darklings at 7. So
Yeah, that's true. Okay, chat. Who won the auction now? Do I just place on B4 and then wait to see what other people do?
I just love green factions. I think that both of them are awesome, and I like playing them. And on this map, I've had such bad luck with them that I want to learn how to play them.
Right.
I was so sure that Weber would come back to NGs. Like,
yeah, normally I would too.
The main reason for my bid. I did not want them. I would have taken Nomads any day. Anyway, let's go.
That's the beauty of auction, Ghostly.
Yeah, I don't bet for the wrong reasons on the auction. I've done that before. It often doesn't go well.
I think Aaron was a little scared because he saw me have a really good Darklings game not long ago on this map.
So now the question for me must be, will Lynsfourthblade live up to what they said and start C1? I guess if they don't, then I can still get I just have to beat Nomads to the red. I get so paranoid for land space here. I'm just almost tempted to just start temp ship and grab those hexes.
Actually, I'm not sure to get good neighbors there. Except if witches start G3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a world where you start A5 just for a neighbor, but then you get probably cut off pretty easily?
Well, Darklings may join you in this south.
I think that you have a pretty good advantage placing last on this map because there's such a fight for spades and hexes a lot of the time that being able to place where you're almost guaranteed a little bit of stuff is kind of nice.
Mm. Yeah, that was on the one witches game. That was the beauty of the stronghold, because you could just start really cozy and then use your witch's flight to go where there's room.
Right.
Right. All right, so I just have witches placing after me. And nomads. I mean, f7 seems really great, but there is a bit of a race to that f8 hex. Not really sure here, to be honest. I mean, do I start e3? I'm not sure that I've done that before. Am I just giving too much up on that side of the map? Is it going to be too difficult? Like, I feel like I might need to secure some browns from nomads. Otherwise, I'll just get cut out.
3 looks nice, but then you have the risk of nomads going f4 before you.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably take
weird.
e4 and sort of like connect through stuff that way, but I don't know that this ever becomes part of a town. I mean, I guess I can, you know, someone's going to take f3 before I'm in a position to slam 3 priests. Like, maybe I can do that late game, but, you know, not by the time engineers gets there, so this doesn't become part of a town. Probably still get access to the southwest, but yeah.
You could potentially beat nomads to d5 though, because they might race engineers for c3. So there's always that.
It's true. It's true. It's a bit of a gamble because if I do get d5, I'd want my sanctuary to be on e3. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Darklings,
I think I'm going to go f7 here. Yeah.
What's it going to be? This changes lots of things potentially.
So I'm interested to hear people in chat what your opinion is once these last dwellings have been placed. Once we see where Lynsfourthblaine's last nomad's dwelling goes, who you think is in the best position now, based coming out of the auction, but also now that opening placements have been selected.
So now I have to choose a5 or f4.
A5 or f4, right? Because you need a neighbor.
Yeah.
Probably you get e4 with a stronghold action before witches get there, correct? If that's the case, then like either are fine, and then d4 and f4 and something else just become part of a stronghold town.
Yeah, I was thinking if I get the time ship, actually, I could also dig d5 and get f4. Since
I see.
Probably Ghostly will take the spade. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, let's try a5. I still don't know that map that well, so let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So the pedestrian in me is thinking spade has to be the spade, and then I was just thinking about what Lumen says, which is basically take that spade if it's available in 99% of cases. And then the devil in me is wanting to take the temp ship for 2 reasons. One would be to guarantee Act 6 how I want it, and then 2 would be to block it.
It's true. Yeah, you are giving a lot up. It's almost a shame that the spade is in, because like a double dig here you could almost open D-Rush, which, I mean, it doesn't hit the track very well, but it is tempting to, like, you know, get G2 and D6 and F5 and like you get all kinds of stuff. But
maybe, yeah, I'm just gonna put my hexes on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go G2, F3, then even D3 is one shipping, D6, and then F5 is one shipping.
Yeah, there's definitely amazing dwelling rush strategies on this map.
And it's a low worker, well, kind of low worker-ish game. But then what do I give? I give Nomads the spade. Nomads take C3, but they take C3 anyway.
Well, it also depends on like Earth 1 tempo. Like Nomads can take E3 either way. If they either take the spade bonus and use it before you and give up Earth 1 tempo, which they may or may not care about. Same goes for Action 5. Like they'll have the leech for it, but
I went pedestrian.
I tend to just
think
see
the
spade take
is
spade.
so good.
Yeah. At least in the first couple of rounds, you know, for most factions. I've even heard people, I forget who was chatting with, it was like Rainier or something, talking about how when the big building bonus tile is in, that it's totally reasonable to, and you're playing Swarmlings, that like sometimes he'll just grab the spade anyhow and give up the points and the workers. So I think spades tends to be a good choice for a lot of people. So you really wanted that priest to air, eh?
I mean, I didn't get temp ship, so priest to air it is.
So you give up, well, you may be giving up Earth 1.
I think that's okay.
Maybe, but there's a lot of spade pressure here.
I kind of anticipated I would be out of the leech party anyway, so...
Yeah, we can see where the party is.
That also gives me 3 power to sort of work with in the first round if I toss a priest in air.
If that upgrade next to me, I'll give you some leech.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I mean, not right now, but soon. I guess I will. I mean, you generally build 2 TPs as NGs, right? So you'll get some.
Yeah, I kind of anticipated upgrading there anyway. So basically now I can build a TP, and it gives me a little bit of tempo. And then if you guys want Earth 1 and not to lose it, you almost have to build tempos here, or else I can take it. So. But what I'm thinking is I don't necessarily even need it that bad this game to score points based on the way the track looks. So it's nice, but...
Yeah, benefits of being in first seat, honestly.
EJ says he'd like to see 10th ship. Yeah, I would have loved to deliver that.
So now it's double dig or S1.
Yeah. And what do you take with double dig here? C3 and D5?
Actually, I was thinking about F6 and D5.
F6. Oh, of course, you're on temp ship. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course.
Webber, could you put the link to the stream in the chat? I've got someone, Inqua, who's observing us, is asking for the link.
There you go.
Yeah, I will go with double dig.
I don't think the link is showing up in your stream chat, Aaron, for some reason. So.
No, I just posted it in the stream chat, but it's not showing my message.
No.
Oh, could you check it in the BGA?
Blank.
Oh, in BG.
It's showing up on mine.
Oh.
It's showing up on mine, but maybe on the BGA one as well.
Like at the table?
Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure. There we go. Right, of course, that was dumb. Why would anyone who's on the stream already knows the stream link. That was pretty, yeah, thanks EJ. I mean, that was pretty dumb of me, but, you know.
For some reason he follows my games now and again, so it's cool.
At this point, I'm kind of committed to a Sanctuary open, which...
I was gonna ask you if you got the big building tiles, you could do Sanctuary open.
I mean, when... yeah, it looked like the Leech party was going to be around me. I'm in second seat. Like, I have the Leech. That basically is enough Leech to do it. Probably securing F8 and just going Temple for Earth 1 and getting a Dwelling out, and maybe taking a... yeah, the Worker's Action and passing on to the building bonus tile or something might have been better there. It could have... it's hard to say, yeah. It might have just been sitting there.
Is this the Earth 1 decision?
I probably overvalue Sanctuary, but I do admittedly, like, I don't know, it's a fun thing to try to get. And so, like, if I see that I'm getting the Leech and things are going to work out that I can get it, I tend to do it.
I honestly think it's so strong on Darklings early, though, because the 2 priest income is just too good.
Hmm. Yeah, now I've got myself in a right mess here to try to get myself out of. I mean, F7 could just be a stranded one. I have no idea. I have problems here, but a Sanctuary is a good tool to get out of a lot of bad situations.
So you want to leave the suspense of who gets C3?
Yeah,
Who gets what hex?
The
C3.
C3X.
Oh, yeah.
I felt I could beat you to it, and I didn't think it was the end of the world if I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be wrong.
Now, Ghostly, why did you secure D6 over C3? Were you just concerned witches would stronghold this turn and take it? Or that they'd stronghold next turn and take it before you can get access to another spade? Like,
It was probably wrong. Honestly, I thought it would be better for Leech, but now I look at it and it's the same for Leech. Although I do give away less Leech.
mm-hmm.
I also thought that on balance I could still get C3. And if I don't, it's not the end of the world either.
Right.
But it could be wrong. The heat of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I could pass next move and get the double dig first move next round, for example.
Yep.
You do have a lot of power.
You have a ton of power.
Even more now.
I mean,
Yeah,
do you just
this is
open
during
with a
the-
second temple, Ghostly? Like, you have to do some worker to power conversion and stuff, but it's not the most efficient, but you can do it.
I can do it, and often I do. Though I'm just wondering, like, if I really want digs,
Yeah.
do I just set myself down a really scary path, which I may still get them, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, I guess the thing is if you upgrade to a second temple, probably you do it on G3. I don't know. Maybe you don't specifically for this reason, but if you do, between that and Air 2, Lynn's has double dig next turn, surely.
Do I, though? I don't know. I
Well,
guess,
if you
yeah,
get 4 power plus
here,
4, yeah, you'd be 044. You'd burn down to 6. Like, yeah. A temple on on D5, you know, doesn't necessarily means you might still be able to get it.
I guess there's a question of, so Lynn's taken Air 2. So there's a question here about whether you're passing next move, which I guess you are. So then will you take the double dig? Because Nomads won't.
But
I'm
Lynn's
sure
doesn't have enough
Darklings have got
power.
more moves.
Unless he
Not
passes.
yet, but if I upgrade on H5, they will do.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you want 2 temples in separate locations, that's what you'll have to do. So.
I mean, the one beauty about engineers is that often they want 3 temples. So, I mean, you could.
So I could just put it, yeah.
Yeah.
My plan wasn't necessarily to take double dig next round. It's more to try and still get a stronghold out next round as well.
Okay, I'm going to do the TP because it's TP round.
Yeah, I think this is totally reasonable.
And then I'll see. Although my worker income is not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if this is correct, but I've found on this map a lot of the time starting with a temple of witches is better than starting stronghold because the priest income is pretty valuable.
Yeah. Our other British friend EJ is signing off. Very sadly, I've got to go. Another British tradition of watching a program called Line of Duty on Sunday evening. Not sure
Yep.
I've come across that one on BritBox yet, TBH. But
It's very popular. I've watched a little bit of it, not really, to be honest. So I can't help you.
fair enough.
But I think I do. It does look like I'll get the double dig whatever I do now, right?
Yeah.
I think so because I won't have enough power for it unless you upgrade H5, but you're not going to do that this turn.
I mean, you could even pass on to temp ship, but I don't know. It depends. Yeah, I don't know. You are short workers is the thing, so I'm not. But
So then the question is, do I do the temple now? No, I don't think so. I don't need it.
Yeah, you have enough power that you don't necessarily need it next round yet. So
if you pass for temp ship, do you get double dig and workers?
Maybe.
I think
I'd certainly get some more dwellings out if I want them.
I think you do. Yeah, you might not have enough coins then just to do a second temple, but you probably can double dig, get the worker action. Anyhow, oh yeah, and of course you're getting a bunch more power from me, so here you go. Do I fire one or earth two? I just fire one probably. Yeah, that's fine. And then do I pass on to probably a spade? Just to sort of, so it's not easy for someone to pass on to.
a priest is a spade for you though. So is it really? And you get points for using it.
It's true. However, I would generally give up 2 points early game for 2 coins, which is why the spade is arguably
That's
better.
I guess it depends what you want to do next round. You want your sanctuary, right? So.
No, I open sanctuary. All I've done is
Oh,
sanctuary.
you open sanctuary, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, next turn I'm. Okay, well, I should look at this. So probably just building on A6, B5. Yeah, I'm just doing that. Yeah, I'm just taking a spade. So now I have 3 digs next turn. All right. Let's see what happens here. So a couple of people are saying, ooh, I would have built the temple. Oh, it's way better.
Yeah, Hafky, that's actually my wife. So,
Hasky,
yeah, she's actually a better engineers player than me, I think. So she must be right.
she's giving you hell for playing engineers all wrong.
I didn't. The problem is I was a bit flustered, so I didn't do the math about how much power comes back around and whether I'm
Yeah.
guaranteed the double dig. But I guess I probably would have had it.
Yeah.
So I'd have had to do a hard. What would I had to do? Convert 4 power, and so I guess if I get 5 back round,
Or just 3
Would
power.
I
You
could have
were
burned.
just short a worker, or were you short a coin as well? So that's why it was 4 power.
and a coin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you get an extra 6 back, which is effectively 3 in your power bowl, so you'd only be 1 token less. I guess the other thing is if you were really like looking super closely in a normal tournament game, I mean, you were definitely getting an extra 2 power from me when I built my sanctuary.
Yes, I totally missed that as well. Okay, well, double dig happens. And I'm gonna take E5.
Really? Not G2?
Really? Nope, not G2. I'll tell you why. I just want to put nomads under a bit of pressure. Because now what do they do about E6? Or are they fine about E6? Like, it just cuts the town. And, well, I guess inevitably I'm going to get E6 now.
And connection
Yeah,
becomes
they don't-
harder as well, right?
Yeah, because they would have to hard dig it to secure it from you, I guess. So
unless they get the stronghold and then stomp it. So I just thought I'd put them under a bit of pressure.
I just have to give everyone so much power here.
Or maybe it forces witches to take it next move.
the thing about witches is I don't actually need it because I have G7, H8, you know, or
But
G7,
to
H9.
link, or maybe you don't need it to link either.
You can
No.
link down south with witches pretty easily, so. It's actually kind of where I started E7, G3. That's like the reason for that, because you can connect to like B6, B7, A9, A10 by going north from E7. So that's potentially a third town up there if I get up there, and then I can connect through the south to my G3 temple if I want to late game, if I get there before you do. But how do you even get to H7, really? I guess go through I4.
I guess it's just a free natural growth for me then.
Yeah.
I'm liking your position quite a bit, Ghostly. You seem to have decent expansion opportunities. I'm in a bit of a tough spot. Nomads seem to be in a bit of a tough spot. And Witches are in a tough spot. And you are at 27 points.
So I'm kind of unsure of what I want to do with my next move. I was expecting to get at least a little bit of leech, because I thought that you were gonna dig G2 and maybe build there. But now because I was planning on taking workers on my turn if I got one more leech, because then I could burn and take them and get my stronghold out this turn. But now I have a feeling you're gonna take workers on engineers, so I'm like, do I build a sanctuary? Or do I wait and see if I get enough power that I can just turn it into workers?
Yeah. I think ignoring the fact that this is an open open game, looking at Ghostly's economy, I'm guessing he probably takes workers here. He's sitting on temp ship, and
well, that's what I was thinking
right,
too. I was just hoping if I passed first, I could beat him to them, you know, because he was taking double dig.
Yeah, I think
I
workers.
definitely want to take them. If they're there, I'm having them.
Yeah, and I can't
No
take them
doubt.
right now without burning below 6, and I think that's really silly because I'm gonna need spades later. So I think that for now I just upgrade this and I kind of wait.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't normally play very aggressively on hexes, but on this map, it just felt like if I went, I'd rather take, even though G2s I want in the longer term more than the other hexes. If I deny you the leech and it's not really under pressure right now, I might as well take another hex that could create some pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. I completely understand that.
I'm wondering whether I should build my stronghold this turn or not. I don't have so much coins.
Yeah, and you're
Oh, it will.
short a worker?
Yeah, as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. I think I just build another dwelling.
Now I'm going to have to get a second temple out at some point, otherwise chat's going to be really mad at me.
Yeah, they are. They're gonna get
So I think I just stall here and see if I can get some power. So I'm gonna just go up air
Yep.
one with bump and wait and see what happens.
So nomads are not going stronghold by the looks of things, which is good. This C3 can potentially hang there a bit longer. So what am I doing?
Yeah, because if you build a temple, then you're kind of short on coins. I mean, you could burn a power and have 2 coins left.
I'll put a priest of around.
Yeah.
One thing I've...
Next round.
Yeah, and also if I get F2, then it bumps me up to 5th seat as well, 5th place as well.
I think I just pass here for... What do I pass here for? So my consideration here is big building. I probably want shipping next turn, so I'm getting 2 digs left and I need coins. So I can pass onto the ship scoring to ensure that I get the coins. Or I can take the big building bonus, which is a point better, and the resources are slightly better. Like I'm getting 3 power and 2 coins, which is like 3.5 coins sort of versus 2 workers and a coin. So that big building, yeah, is a bit better. But then that would be under the assumption that engineers build on C3, which probably they do. Probably you do, Ghostly, but it's possible. And I'm going to make this move before you. I think I'm just going to pass for ship scoring to secure coins is what I'm going to do, which is just kind of annoying.
The question on C3 is whether you're about to go and triple dig it.
It's true. It's true.
Which you're fully able to do. So it kind of depends on your position vis-a-vis taking that or taking A7 instead.
And I think
or taking neither.
And I think it makes nomads and witches both pretty happy, me leaving the big building open. But I think me just securing a coin action is probably better at this point. And I think when I do this, I get the coins anyhow. So you definitely just build on C3. Like that's sort of my guess. The greedy taking a little bit more risk would be like taking the big building bonus out of the round, because I think that's a bit more valuable. But this is like slightly safer.
I was debating potentially taking a priest, upgrading shipping, and getting a dwelling on H8. But I actually think now I should just pass for big building, get my stronghold out after taking maybe a double dig next round, because I'll have enough power to take double dig.
Yep.
So I think that's probably better right here. I'm not really going to get any other points this round anyway. Maybe an extra worker, but I have 4 workers from the cult, so...
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You passing for big building, double dig in a dig round, stronghold, and like a couple
maybe get a
few
dwelling out
dwellings
somewhere with a stronghold. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good call to pass for that right now. I wouldn't have passed right here maybe if you didn't.
Right.
But or maybe I would have anyway. It just seems like such a good move with the amount of power I'm getting next turn.
Will be passing as well.
I guess there's a spade on the table now,
Right.
which is pretty valuable in a dig round.
Yep.
I mean, that was a consideration too, as I could have passed for the spade for the dig round, but if I'm gonna get double dig, I already get those 4 points anyway from that, so.
Right.
And this gives me an extra 4 points for my stronghold.
So do I take the coins? It's expensive, but then I haven't burnt any power yet.
It's true. And then your power would be 900, and then you pass, and then it's 360, right? So you can't take a power action next turn, which maybe you don't care about.
Yeah, I guess what would I be taking? I suppose I would
Single
take it.
spade. I mean, double spade's
Another
probably
dig.
gone. So, yeah, I don't know what power action you'd be wanting to take. Maybe a single spade.
I think I'm kind of running a bit on instinct here, just because chatting and playing is a bit different than
Yeah.
normal.
Yep.
So I'm going to take them because I mean there's a high chance I ended up trying to take this round anyway. So
Right.
might as well take them now. And then I'm just going to go racy and come over here with you guys, just for jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pass and. Yes, I can even take a priest here.
So I guess me taking the ship scoring was... yeah, we're getting called out hard by Deranged, who says, wait, the stream started an hour ago and we're in round 2? Yep.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Just assume your clock is screaming at you, Ghost, so you're minus 30 second and the other players are like grumpy at you. And then we're all in negative 45.
Auction did take a while, though.
And auction on these streams always takes a while. I'm just taking coins because they're coins. There goes that for analysis.
So I'm going to do what I said I was going to do and take double dig here.
Of course. You're digging so G7 and H6 probably and securing the one that's next to engineers first?
Yeah, because it's less likely that you take my hex, even though you're going to be able to, but you have to upgrade shipping first so I can secure that pretty easy before you get there. If you upgraded shipping first action, I might have been a little bit more scared of that, but...
Yeah. It's pretty rare when I use my first action tempo for anything other than taking coins. So, I think you're pretty safe. It's like triple digging C3.
Yeah.
It sure is Air 2 Witches. Sorry, I should be scrolling down to show you what's going on here a little bit more. Yes. So, Witches are Air 2. The rest of us have a copy of Earth 1. I've got Fire 1. NG has a second favorite tile. I just built second temple last round for Earth 2.
I wish we could tell it's arranged that it's because of all the high quality analysis, but I'm not sure that's true either.
All right, so I
took
think
the cult bump so I could get to spot 8 basically on brown. And then
yeah, that seems good. I'm just going to upgrade shipping and then see where people let me dig. I might actually dig C2 or A4, but Brownsville might take that from me now. Or, I don't know, what are other options? H8, but doesn't really get me anywhere interesting.
I'm just going to secure G7 because that's one of my towns, so...
Oh, yeah.
Pretty easy to make that decision.
Yeah, you've got 2 towns carved out pretty easily. Because no one's probably taking I4 from you, and H9 with a stronghold over there, so...
Yeah, which is better than it usually goes for me when I play witches on this map, so far so good, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that pass made a lot of sense.
Taking F8 from you made a lot of sense when I had the chance early.
For sure. And me placing on F7 was silly. I was sort of being greedy. I was like, I want to fight with witches over here, but also use all my resources to get out an expensive building the first round. Like, you sort of have to pick one. I could have just dug that first action and gone like a temple for Fire 1 and had that, or Sanctuary, but not both. I guess, in retrospect, somewhat to my defense, it wasn't clear to me that the big building bonus tile was going to come to me, so... yeah, I kind of changed.
Opening Sanctuary is really good on Dark anyway, so it might be worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, my economy's great here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say I don't know if I care too much about A4 or not. I mean,
yeah.
I could dig it now. Not let it to you, but build a sanctuary town there. But then this will involve probably expensive trading post.
Where would it involve an expensive trading post?
If I build a town on S3,
Oh, I
A4,
see.
A5.
Yeah, yeah.
But then Adrania says it's just the same as a bridge.
Yes. I still don't know where my towns are actually.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's lots of people say. It's the same as a bridge.
Yeah, and often the thing about bridges that I don't think people really talk about as much is they're at least 3 coins. But oftentimes, especially late game, not only are they'd be just 3 coins if anyone could build a bridge anytime they wanted for 3 power, but you also need tempo. So it often means not getting out another dwelling that you otherwise would, so you can pass in front of someone, and right, or maybe even giving up a pass tile. Like people often give a lot up for bridges. People will often end up in many situations giving up a 7 coin action for a bridge.
That's so true.
Right?
Or even not getting the bridge.
We're not getting the bridge. Yeah, yeah. But right, like if you have to pass early, and so you do some unoptimized moves that cost you like an extra worker, and you pass for a pass tile that you don't really want, and then you're in first spot, and then you give up a 7 coin actions just to get your bridge. Is that just 3 coins, or is it more than that? I tried to make the argument that a bridge was worth at least 3/4 of a 7 coin action on Rainier's stream once, but he got angry at me. No, I was just joking. I tried to make the very convoluted argument that a bridge was worth 5.25 coins, and Ryan was just like, no, that's wrong. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but something like that. Bridges are super annoying.
I'll finally give you the leech.
Finally give me the leech, good. I need power for another 7 coin action soon.
It's the webberaj special.
So
yeah, I was going to give it this round at some point, and it looked like your power was quite low. But maybe I should have stalled it even longer.
I think I'm doing this. Because this gets me to E3, F2, and stuff. And then I can build on E3, C5. Nomads don't have a stronghold yet, so they're not just going to crush my dreams on E3. Looks sneaky.
I guess
my
it challenges
stronghold
E4
here.
as well. Yeah, E4's then looking scary for Nomads, right?
Yes. Definitely.
Yep, but I'm out of digs. I have shipping, so I can get E3 and C5, but I'm out of spades at this point. Unless I burn for a priest, which I'll almost never do. But yeah.
But now G2 is under pressure. Oh god.
Yeah.
No,
As you
nothing I
say,
can do about it.
You are going to be rich next turn, Ghostly. Next round.
Yeah. What am I going to do with it?
Good question. I'm actually going to have stronghold action H8.
Mm-hmm.
Because then there's no chance Darklings take that, which is nice. Cannot worry about it anymore.
Yeah. I was toying around with the ideas of trying to do stuff with that F7 placement just because it feels weird to leave a dwelling stranded. And it's bad for network, of course. But especially in a game where I probably won't get my stronghold out, so I'm down a landscape from you guys. But I don't know. What am I going to do? Triple dig H7 to connect through G5 on free ship? Like,
Possibly.
possibly. Possibly. Deranged says, I was expecting Weber to go into the center. Like C5. I think my plan for this turn is actually still to build a dwelling onto C5. Yeah. C5, D6. C5, D6. b6.
So Rincevent, you didn't build on G4.
Yeah, right.
I'm curious because now I build F5 and they get one leech. I mean, it's not masses, but it's better than giving you one.
Yeah, what was the thought pattern behind the decline build there?
Yeah, I wanted to wait for past tiles, maybe to get the big building.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nice.
I think at this point I just build up my economy further. There could be probably a bit of a water 1 rush next turn, maybe? Probably.
So I don't know if this is correct, but I think I'm going to take a bridge right now because the way that I'm looking at my game, I think I'm going to need 2 bridges by the end of it anyway.
Yep, fair enough. Burning for a bridge.
It'll get me another dwelling out this turn, which is pretty good as well. I don't know how many points I'm going to score next round for trading posts, though. Maybe I should think about that first before I take a bridge.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean,
I can also use my resources to build a trading post now to get tempo on water 1, which I think is potentially the right call because only one of you has a trading post, and I think nomads want their stronghold at some point. So.
The other thought is passing for 7 coins and then taking another 7 coins.
Yeah, see, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, because I also need coins. So is it worth it to just pass and take coins here?
But I would often do that and then end up not finishing a town because I don't have enough bridges. So someone else should tell you what they think there.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't need a bridge between H8 and G7 because I could get H9 potentially still.
Yeah, for sure. You just want one on H6 to I4 at the top of round 5.
Right.
And so you're risking 5 points. Yeah.
The dream is to get a bridge between B7 and A9 and make a town up there because that's such a nice, pretty looking town for me. But like getting there before you guys might be a little hard. We'll see.
Yeah.
I have no coins, so I think maybe passing for coins is probably a good call. Because that'll at least give me 2 trading posts next round.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the pass tiles are kind of underwhelming other than just getting coins and tempo on coins. Unless you really want temp ship, like you're a priest and 2 coins. Like, you know, the good one is, I think, 7 coins and tempo on power actions next turn, personally. Oh, how bad are you wanting G2?
G2. Oh, I don't really care that much about G2, to be honest. Although G2 could get me at another town pretty easily, and then getting tempo and taking that from engineers is a pretty good call, probably. I don't know. Like, I guess passing just gives me a lot of tempo on different.
It does, and you can figure it out from there. You either double dig G2, which saves you a bridge.
Yeah. The thing is, I can get another dig out this turn with a hard dig if I want to, as well. So that's something to be considered for 2 points there. Is it worth doing that for 2 points? I don't know. I don't know. Passing seems like the right call for me here. So.
Yeah. I think it's correct, but I don't know. What do you guys think there, Ghostly? Also, do you guys have an opinion on that pass there? I think this looks good.
I think it's fine. There'll be other opportunities to get the bridge.
Yeah.
The only reason I was thinking about it is that there's only 3 more rounds left after this, and other people might want bridges on this map, and I need 2 if I'm going to make the 3 towns that I'm looking at. So it's kind of an iffy situation. The nice thing about witches is I don't really need to make all 3 of my towns in the 5th round because, like, they still get the 5 points anyway. So it's nice to do that, but they get the 5 points regardless.
Sure. Yeah, you're just losing 5 points, which... Alright, keep talking, guys. We'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay, now I think I do pass. And I think I passed onto the shipping. Kind of thinking maybe my landscape can go on C7.
Yeah, I think that's a great spot for the engineer landscape on this map, honestly, because then you can bridge over to E6 and still make a town there, potentially.
Okay, I'm back. So I guess I can just pass here for the big building bonus, which seems really good. Is there anything else I want to do here? Not really. I don't have any resources left. Just pass, grab more points and workers. I have decent coins for next round, so this should be fine.
So Nomads gave me some leech on G4, so now I actually do have enough to take double dig if I want, which is tempting. Because then that allows me to make a town without a bridge if I take G2 right now.
Yeah, it would be... Yeah.
It definitely hurts me as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of actions that hurt another player while also helping me, and not having
Well,
to worry
exactly.
about a bridge is kind of nice. And my thought process is then I might be able to potentially get a town from I4 to H8 as well, and that's the third town down where I only have to connect with one ship, which looks really nice for me, honestly.
It does, yeah, it does get you
I was
access to other
only-
hexes.
yeah. I was only tracking Nomads for that hex.
I actually think that that's
Foolishly.
probably the correct move here.
It might be. It might be. It means you don't have enough coins to get Water 1 this turn, but maybe you don't. Which... I mean, you could, but it would just sort of be like, yeah, it's the only consideration probably.
Yeah, not getting Water 1 might hurt me a bit too. I don't know. Is it worth it to...
Those coins.
Yeah, coins are kind of nice. I like the look of coins most of the time. So
When I dug C2, I wasn't planning on that. Actually, I wasn't thinking that was going to mess with NG that badly in a sense, because I just assumed so you'd grab G2, F3, D3, and then you'd connect later on, with your million coins on 3 ship or something. But this actually does kind of put you in a tricky situation.
Yeah, while you're away, I was saying I'll put my land bridge, like my landscape, on C7. So I was hoping for double dig G2, C7,
Yeah.
landscape, C7.
Oh, and he's giving it to you. Okay.
I think taking coins is right here because then I can upgrade shipping as well and start working on that a little bit.
It's true.
The ship scoring tile is also here, so it's an opportunity for me to maybe score some points off of that.
Yep.
And potentially get Water 1 this turn if you guys don't. So it gives me a lot more options, I think.
So the question now is whether I trust you not to hard dig G2 if I want to put my landscape on C7.
I would like to dig G2 if I got the chance. I'm gonna tell you that right now because it's a nice looking hex for me currently since you're leaving it open for so long.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, if he turns
So,
G2 to if you turn G2 to gray, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, if you turned it to gray, I have enough workers that I could do that, so it would be a risk to take that.
Okay, well, I always want to take the double and not the single, so I take it. Then the second one.
I mean, can you race switches?
C7?
Do you still go C7 and then do you just try to get another town with like B6 and A8 and I don't know.
Although witches have the flight, right?
It's
so
true.
That probably doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I like that would be the ideal spot for my third town up there.
So maybe I actually take I3.
I3.
To stop witches jumping onto it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I'll try that.
Yeah.
I think securing G2 is the right option here because digging it halfway for me is too good to pass up if I get back to my round.
Totally. I think this might give me a chance of 2 towns in a town round as well.
I think what I do
Or
here is just try to get temple on water 1. So I just build a trading post. I give my power to nomads as opposed to engineers. I also have, the other thing I need to be considering is that I feel like I probably have temple on water 1 here unless witches go sanctuary. And so if there's a possibility I could use a priest to dig something that I should be thinking about.
So I lose water 1 unless I go sanctuary.
Right.
I think that's clear.
Yeah, and it looks like
Sanctuary is the best move for me, honestly. I took coins, and 2 of you have a trading post on the map that could potentially take water 1, and I just, to not have to get the race into it would be nice. Or, I guess I could have upgraded shipping after building a trading post, because I didn't realize engineers didn't have a trading post on the map, so that actually, I could have gained tempo by doing that, but I need the sanctuary for my town anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to do this as much as I don't want to. Just because as NGs I get twitchy without the scoring favors.
And I guess I'm just greeting points here. Yeah, well, I want another temple anyhow, so yeah.
Well, in this way I get 6 points for each one of my trading posts that I build this round, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and you could leave H9 open. You could do a thing where you build like a trading post on F8, Alex, right? To get the 6 points this turn and then hit the town next round, H6 as well.
There's also something to be said for taking, well, no, you know what? I have 2 digs coming from the cults too, so that's nice because I can stronghold somewhere where I'll get a dig out of it, and then maybe just...
Yeah, do you fly to B6 to give yourself another spot for it? I guess you can only build 2 trading posts anyhow, unless you convert like a power to a coin and a priest to a worker. But you could, in theory, witches fly to B6. Your spades go like what, H9, B7, and then you TP F8, B6, H6 this round.
I was kind of thinking that too, because if I fly to B6, it gives me potentially another 6 points this round pretty easily.
And try to get a town.
Potentially.
No, here's some more coins, so this helps you afford those things. Just catching up with chat. If you secure C7, B7, yeah, so these 2 in here, you can still drop the landscape on A8 here. Oh, I see, and come over there for cool town points. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's a nice suggestion.
Yeah, that makes sense. Assuming witches do what they did there, and then you, yeah.
Funny, I started with more points than everyone, and I have only gained 2 over the course of the game, technically. I'm about to gain some, but it's interesting to see that.
So I might be building some trading posts to nowhere. E3 is never going to be part of a town. I don't have enough, like, yeah. So I think what I do here, and I don't want a town up on B5 this round. I mean, I could, but what for? I don't know. Maybe someone has a clever idea. I'm just going to take B2 or F2 because I think, well, here comes bridge pressure. If I bridge over to H3, this looks like a town, so I can TP up on F2. That's my thought here. T1, yes. Says just tuning in now, a non-cultist Lakes game. Yeah, for sure.
It is kind of nice not having cultists in the game for a change. Usually they're in every game I play, so.
Yeah, because I play with you a lot, and I always put them in 100% of the time. So.
Yeah, almost every time I see, I play with Aaron.
Yeah.
We play with cultists in the game.
If I'm playing with Bizzle or Clay, sometimes they throw halflings in just so I can't.
And what price do they go for? Cultists can go so low.
If they're not color sandwiched, I've had crazy games with cultists where the track wasn't great for them, honestly. And there was like another cult faction in, but they weren't sandwiched. And people were hesitant to bid them down too much because they just didn't see where they were going to score. And so I got them at like, I don't know, 15 points or something. And I've just had wildly good scores. Like, I don't even know where the points come from. Like, cultists not color sandwiched are just absolutely broken on this map. If they get a couple like key hexes early, if they can get double spade first round or something, like they can just do nutty things on this map if they get out of control. And I've had just awful games against yellow. I don't really know how to play them against fakirs, and nomads are just like absolute nightmares to play with, I find, as cultists. But black is kind of okay.
Fine and black don't have too many issues together on this map. Doesn't seem like it anyway. I've never really seen them have a crazy fight for things. So
No.
So I think I take a bridge right now on my turn to secure this for next round.
That seems totally reasonable.
Because now I don't have to fight for it for my second town next round, and I sort of have a pretty easy 2 towns next round once I build my trading post.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense.
I'm trying to get better at thinking ahead a lot like that on this game instead of just being like, oh, I need a bridge next round, so I'll try to get it next round, and I feel like that never works out for me. So
Incoming 4 power 6 worker dig on I4 by nomads. Oh, okay.
yeah, looking forward to that.
Alright, I'm getting this out because I want some trading post points this turn. I don't know that I'll actually do this well on trading posts this turn. I guess I could build another one in just a random spot. It's probably fine. But do I want to pass on to shipping for more coins?
I'm getting twitchy about H4 now. Just because if dark things are coming to H3, it's just so tempting for them.
It's super easy for Darklings to dig stuff away from people, so.
I guess because I was thinking that the C3, C4, D6 could easily bridge over if I needed, but then when I realized I was missing out on Water 1, I needed to sanctuary up where I had an existing temple, which then puts big pressure on the south town because that could have been a 3 town, but now it can't. So that's kind of what's been happening here. Which almost makes me want to just... This is where I start doing stupid things. Like if I burn down to 6 power, I can dig that from what? No, I can't make it green. No, that can't work.
I already used my Witch's Flight this round, but I wouldn't make it green either. That's just too scary with Witch's Flight.
Yeah, it just seems bad.
Yeah, thinking aloud. Okay, just keep calm, carry on, and build another TP. Where do I want to put it?
G2? You just shooting for a town there?
G2, did you say? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean H4.
I don't know at what point I stopped taking leech, to be honest. I've been taking so much.
Not yet, I don't think.
It's so much power.
Like, it's a trading post round, and this extra leech is allowing you to do things like extend yourself. Like, you can, if you need to, like, you can build 2 more trading posts this round and have 8 power to, like, I don't know what, honestly. Yeah, I think taking leech is still really good here. Question is, do I just build H3 right now? 5, I'd be down to 5 worker, 6 going into next round. Yeah, it's probably fine. Just build another trading post. Nomads, probably, I don't know, pass soon. I have no idea. I think I'll just do it. It's that, or there's an argument for an early pass for stuff, but I guess I just give nomads and engineers free leech in both of these places. Maybe I'll go E3 because I'd rather accept when C3 becomes a trading post, a 4 for 3 as opposed to a 5 for 4. Sure, that's some logic.
Deranged was asking me why I didn't take Act 3, which I think was a good suggestion. And my reasoning was that now I've been forced to build the sanctuary. I, of course, only have one temple out, so my power production isn't massive. And I really want digs next round. I really want H4.
Yeah.
So I just did the fancy worker with the priest.
Yeah, that town is a lot harder for you to make down there now because you have a sanctuary up in a different spot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. That's the interesting thing about the ripple effects of not being on the ball with Water 1. Because basically that all stemmed from suddenly realizing it's now a bust on Water 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, T1, awesome. T1 just tuned in a few minutes ago. And for those who haven't caught it yet, T1's working on a tournament, I believe working with Zorus on it as well. What's it called? The Tuesday League? I don't know entirely all the details, but it seems to be some sort of tournament that's running. It's going to be starting in a few weeks, I believe sometime in May. That's going to be like every Tuesday there's going to be like a game going on, and there's an interesting tournament structure. I only just sort of read through it a bit today. T1, if there's a link to where you may have posted that online, like on BGG or something, I know you're also that registration open today, so feel free to just like spam the chat with a few links or some information just for people to look at. Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. It's great. There's so much
sooner than you think. May's next week.
Oh, May's next week. Yep.
I actually registered for it when you sent me the link, Aaron, because I'm interested. I don't know if I'll be able to play. I mean, I don't know how high of an elo we need for it or whatever the rules are on that, but it'd be fun to kind of play every Tuesday.
I don't know. Maybe T1, you can clarify in chat if there's an elo requirement, if it's like only certain players get in, or if everyone who registers in and you just like get that many different divisions, like you just accept everyone and seed accordingly, or if it's like you just accept the top 16 players or something. If you could clarify, that would be helpful to know. Yeah, I'm always excited for other tournaments I can lose in.
I'm just excited to play Terra Mystica. I don't care if I lose or win most of the time. It's
yeah,
like, whatever. It works my brain.
That's the great thing about this new concept is they are benchmarking it by elo largely, so that the whole purpose is to match you up with people that are notionally of equivalent level, which I think is cool because it's the games can be really painful if you when you play people with a much different elo to you, whether it's higher or lower.
Right.
Yeah, I find I might be a little higher elo than what my elo on the site actually is, because I usually play with tables at tables with Aaron, which is always 400 and up. So
yeah, elo is one of those things that you obviously like. If you play against easier players, your elo is going to go up more.
Slowly though.
It's true. T1 clarifies on your question, there is no elo requirement, but elo matters for seeding. So just one sort of final question for you is like, if you register, you can play. Is that how that works? You'll play in some division? Yes. Okay. So yeah, T1 clarified. So if you fill out that link he posted, you're in. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm pleased with myself because I anticipated that TP, so I exchanged power before I passed, but anticipated the TP on H6.
Right.
The little things that are pleasing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So while you were talking, Aaron, too, I actually took workers with some of my power because it allows me to get the 3rd trading post out this round.
Yep, fair enough. That's awesome.
And now I would upgrade shipping probably, but I think all I'm gonna do is just toss some priests in water to secure that for myself, since no one else is in the round right now anyway. And it gives me a little bit of power, so I might be able to take a power action next round.
So now you'll have full power.
Yeah, I'll have full power, and I also pretty much secure water and air for myself, which is super nice.
This is
I'm gonna
great.
get towns next round anyway. So I don't think that's wrong to put my priests into water here and just get 16 cult points.
Yeah, the cults have been fairly open. Air is like no one's put any work in other than you, but there's like an easy second place there.
Now here I'm not really sure what I want passing. Probably the spade, just because it's extra coins and gives me an easy way to get maybe an extra hex, like securing H7 potentially. So I can secure my
Probably.
connection. I think I go B7 because it's not really under threat and I can leave it green for a second.
Okay, I think I need to just take back 6. Yeah,
Right.
Sure.
And other people were talking just before I passed, but that was part of the reason why I passed when I did. I was just assuming you were securing that hex, which gives me another coin action in second seat. And Alex, you had mentioned about like earlier on taking a priest versus a spade and 2 coins. I find, and earlier it made sense because it was like I could take a dig and 2 points, or a dig and 2 coins, and I prefer 2 coins over 2 points early on. When I passed just now, I could have taken a spade and 3 coins, or the priest, which is a spade but had 3 coins stacked on it. And I often find that like early the priest is something that people want, but it pretty quickly becomes something that's not that interesting. And so oftentimes at some point in the game you can grab a priest with a few coins on it. And so at that point this pass was like, do I want to dig and 3 coins and 2 points, or just a dig and 3 coins? And so obviously I just was able to pass for the priest there with a stack of coins on it. So that's often what I sort of do as Darklings, is like grab the spade early and then later maybe jump on the priest when there's a few coins on it. So
that makes sense. I think I'm actually gonna take workers here, just to allow me to do more this round after I'm done making my towns.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it's real. I actually don't have to spend a lot to make my towns, and the hexes that are dug green aren't really under threat by anyone because no one has enough shipping to get to them. So I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah. Alright, so now I have 5 priests.
It's a lot of priests.
Sure is. Probably my best bet for another town. I could try for a bridge here, but I might just do a really goofy, like, mad amount of digs town in the southwest, rather, somewhere. Probably have to be my second town. But it's at that point of the game where I'm starting to look around and see, like, is there anything that's good for me that's annoying for other people? Because I do have extra priests that just need to go somewhere. So, but to start with, I think I'll just build a trading post and town up. Almost wondering if a cult town is better here for me. It might be. Let's go for a cult town. Not sure if this is correct. I might regret it later.
I think there's a bit of an argument for taking 2 keys in a cult or in a town round, because you get 7 points essentially for that town instead of.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you have hopes to win 2 cults or not. So
No. My problem with taking 2 keys as Darklings is I feel like 2 keys is great if you're willing to back up 2 keys with more fighting. And
As
of
Darklings,
cults,
you want to use your
and I don't.
priests to dig.
That's right.
So
So on digging, there's probably, yes, an argument here of taking E4, obviously. I'm that bad. Sorry, go ahead.
The open table dynamic's quite different because I was just seeing E4 there and I didn't want to bring it up because it felt hard. So because Rincevent had his stronghold out, and you were saying, "Oh, I just got all these priests to put somewhere," and I was just thinking, "Man,
Where will I
E4."
ever put them? Everyone's like, I don't know.
I don't know,
But
maybe
E4,
E4.
yeah, maybe, I was just thinking E4, E4. And I was like, no,
Yeah,
no.
definitely.
I didn't want to kind of, yeah, it's a different flavor with open table. I would have felt personally responsible.
Is
Yeah.
there an argument for me taking 2 keys here? Because I could potentially get another cult under my belt by the end of the game if I try to win fire.
The thing about 2 keys
need
here
points.
is I kind of feel like those cults are kind of locked up for you. Like, what am I gonna? Someone's gonna send a priest to water and do nothing. Like, am I gonna send a priest to water and then, like?
I was thinking more along the lines that like I could then try and fight on fire and still have another key to do that fight with, you know. But I guess I'm gonna have 3 towns anyway, so I don't really need 2 keys to do that, and there's no way I'm winning Earth. So
Yeah, I like maybe there's an argument. Even a single cult town, yeah, it's probably fine here.
yeah, I think that allows me to just easily toss a priest but not lose it and win a cult if I need to, or if I take the cult coins, I'll be able to just get it that way as well.
Okay, I guess I town up. I basically would like to get a bunch of shipping because I've got the shipping pass tile. So that's largely what I'm thinking. Which I can quite easily do. I know all the vibes about coin towns, but when it comes to engineers, for me, coin towns, worker towns are fine. Just take whatever you need.
Yeah, I think that's entirely
especially
reasonable.
in a town round. Especially in a town round, you get 10 points for it anyway, so it's.
And those coins are just worth more to me than anyone else. Then if you watch Zoras' Ultimate Guide, the amount of times he says that something's worth more to engineers than anyone else is like tattooed on my brain.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not sure if that was entirely worth it. I just took some expensive leech to get a bridge. I have enough digs that I could just spam dwellings down here and get an expensive trading post and then just do like 5 dwellings and a trading post on 6 hexes down here, and I have enough priests. But I took the leech to take a bridge because this provides me with some more flexibility of where I get those dwellings, maybe. I don't know if that was really not worth it. Why not E1, E2? Oh, E2, D1, BC, B2? Yeah, probably just carving all this stuff out. Yeah, that probably does make sense. 112, 5, 6 digs and not a bridge.
A secure connection before I make my second town. Nomad's already used their thing this turn, but I just would hate it for them to be like, well, you don't get to connect anymore, so.
You're probably right, Tion, and this goes part and parcel, I find, with these games sometimes. It's just not always thinking through these things super cleverly. Deranged wondering, Ghostly, why a coin town over a priest town? Like, why you preferred the extra point and 2 coins over a priest, I guess.
The intention is to get both. And
Really?
Yeah, basically the intention is to get both, and I didn't want to not have enough stuff for my expensive TP, and I didn't even bother doing the math. So I thought if I get the coin town first, I can
see.
definitely do the expensive TP. Then I take the priest to get the 3 shipping. I also want coins because I probably want to get another temple out.
Yep.
So I don't know how that's going to work out. Maybe with a bit of leech, we'll see what happens with that. But I probably want to get another temple out as well before the round's up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then coin town compared with ship town, that's a good question. I got some kind of a mini aversion to ship towns, and that I shouldn't have, but I just do. I don't know why.
Just a lot of resources baked into a single town, I guess. Yeah.
I guess they're better than the coin town if you don't have a spare priest.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that argument.
So they're just a couple of extra points, right? So you kind of get 2 extra coins. 1 extra point, it's 2 extra coins, and save on a priest.
Down should I take now?
What are you thinking here, Rafa? Like, what town key are you considering?
Yeah, Princeton, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Walcott.
What would a worker town allow you to do here? It feels like your economy is slightly worker heavy, and
Yeah, it's true, but
I guess you have a lot of power coming in, which can be coins. So
let's start with a Princeton anyway. Then just feels a bit early for taking the 11 points.
right. Yeah, fair enough.
I will take it.
So I'm debating between taking Fire 2 from our town or another trading post, like an expensive trading post. I'm not really sure what the best option is here, because Fire 2 makes my northern town a little bit easier to create. But the trading post gives me more coin income for next round, which allows me to do a little bit more. So
Yeah, and I mean, a temple isn't that much cheaper, really, because it's only saves you 1 coin, but then it's going to convert 2 coins and 2 power into a priest, which you might not really need. So
yeah,
even if
I'm
you have to
leaning
take
towards the
Fire
trading
2
post
later,
because
I don't know.
yeah, exactly. The thing that a temple does for me that a trading post doesn't is I have the potential to maybe temple up again next round and then place my landscape for extra network
Oh, I
points. But I
see.
don't really have very many places to do that at, so I don't really know if it's worth it, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, because I mean, you're going to need to dig something like a 10 or something for your town, or C6, and then it goes there. So if you have 2 temples up, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of temples.
It's a lot of coins that I'm gonna need to do that.
It
though,
is.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll just do trading post, gets extra points now, and I'll worry about next round when it comes.
Yep.
I have a ton of power anyway too, so I need to figure out a way to use it right now, and giving myself a coin is a good way to do that. And I'm just gonna take the 11 pointer because take it away from the table. Get 21 points for a town.
Yeah, all the high VP towns are gone. this point. So how quick are people passing here? I need to figure that out because I need to decide where my digs are going, how many I need. I'll need 4 down here to found this town. And I need to get rid of at least 2 this turn. But there's nothing that I want that's a double dig, unless I just dig G1. And any dwelling I build this turn is basically a decision to convert 2 points into a worker, because I could just build it next turn. So I'm trying to also be careful about that. Like, do I just build another trading post this turn? Probably not. There's something to be said for a temple for Air 1. There's a 3 points now and an extra priest. I do have lots of coins. Yeah, Air 1, double question mark, double question mark. I take it you don't like that too much range. I mean, I could fire 2 or just build out a town this turn, but it's worth more next town. It's a big dwelling town. Oh, you're agreeing with my Air 1 play. It's an 8-point play at minimum. Yeah, I mean, it's 3 this turn and 4 next turn. So that's 7, plus an extra bump up air, which is kind of decent. I guess I just give engineers. Let's just go with that. Fire 2 is 9 points. Probably. I'll go with this route. I'm not sure if this is correct. This is a little greedy, but... Now I have to get rid of 3 priests, so I'll probably just... It's kind of tricky, because I want to be ready to pass for a pass tile, probably. I mean, for me it's kind of funny, because I don't know that I'll upgrade ship again, so the ship tile is just 3, and the big building is 4. So, neither are really, like, amazing. But... What are you guys thinking in the last moves of this round?
I'm actually wondering whether I should secure A3 or not.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of priests, as you said, and you could easily take it.
Yeah.
But anyway, since I'm not on the lead, I don't think you care too much either. So maybe it's not worth spending the resource now. Just send priest in.
Yeah, you got a low priest, Webber.
It's
You're
true.
gonna have to
And
go
I...
somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I probably should just be more aggressive, but I also have an expensive dig town coming up, and could be a bit more efficient with my digs next round to get out more dwellings, and there's actually some cult races. I can actually see sending 2 priests to cults next turn.
I'm just gonna build on D3, just because you might get twitchy with those priests. It's quite a key hex for me.
I gotta say, it feels nice to not have to worry about Darklings digging my hexes over here.
Yeah, in retrospect, D3 probably, well, yeah, that totally made a lot of sense. Just not...
Well, I guess B3 would still work for Link, so it's not the end of the world. But...
What would have?
B3 would also work for
yeah,
my
fair
Link,
enough, fair enough.
it's still 3 ship, F3 to B3 to C3.
It's like, I feel like in a normal arena game, I would have known both of those. Like, oh, I should take D3. Actually, no, it doesn't really make sense unless I take B3 as well. Like, neither of those were on my radar, which is just for some reason the difference in my mind when I'm streaming and not.
I think D3 might have been good, because then you could bridge it over to either E3 or C2, and then still make another town down in the southwest there as well. If you got E2 as well, assuming.
Yeah.
So there could be like an argument for trying to do that and get 3 towns as Darklings, but
So now I'm ready to pass, but I can still slow play for 2 rounds if I want to, which I think is probably the best position.
I decided I don't need a temple because I've got all my TPs out and water 1. That's enough power. But chat will probably abuse me again.
What, for not building a temple?
Yeah, well, the NG's second temple is just so good, right? Sad not to have it out.
It's true. You do already have 7 power income with your TPs down, so I guess that second temple becomes a little less important late game.
Yeah.
But a temple for Air 1 right now is, well, probably 3 extra points than it will be next turn. I don't know.
True. And getting extra shipping is only 3 extra points on it as well.
Mind you, your priests, converting a priest to worker as engineer is usually totally fine, but there's actually some interesting, like, there's definitely some points to pick up here on fire and air.
So I have a couple options for stalling here, but I think I'm using my stronghold action first just so I can for sure use it this round, and then if I don't get to use my priest, then it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But I am also stalling to try and get a pass tile.
That makes sense.
So although it costs me 2 points to put 2 dwellings down, it helps me stall.
So, might as well just, yeah, do this stuff.
Pass now. I don't think there is a point in waiting anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like my double cult digs are going to trip me out one way or another. Can't lay the landscape with them as well.
Right.
And I think I actually pass now because it gives me second dibs on power actions next turn in the last round.
Oh, and 8 points. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You just pass for that big building.
Scoring is too good.
And then at this point, like, was it actually worth it for me to stay in? Like, are those 7 coins worth more than 3 points for me? Probably. So it might have been kind of silly for me to...
Yeah, you could have passed early for the 7 coin action next turn too. Oh, you don't have enough power though for that.
No, but just taking 7 coins off the table versus 3 power, and it's like a coin and a half and 3 points. I mean, do I need coins? I mean, I could probably find stuff to do with them. Yeah, sure.
This also kind of guarantees me my bridge because nomads don't need a bridge, so they're not.
Right.
I assume you're not taking a bridge, so you could bridge block me, I guess, but. I do not need this.
Yeah, I know.
It's a consequence-free temple for you.
So I think after all of this, I'm going to pass and take the coins.
Well, see, and that's another reason why I wanted the big building tile here, because it denies both of you potentially that you're going to get a passing tile for next round, which is good for me. So I'm trying to get better at thinking about what the other players need when I'm playing, and like trying to find ways to help myself, but also prevent them from getting what they want.
Yep.
Take the spade.
Oh yeah, I have a spade. It's not super helpful. I guess I should just be a little bit annoying to nomads here and just do that.
Landscape on B3, so I can't use my spade there.
On where?
B3?
Oh yeah, because you can't place it when you place your spade. That's true.
Unless I do this.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I've done no math about whether I can actually get it out, get the third turn out, but I guess I should think about that at some point.
So now it's the same question as last round. Do I take the coin and risk that you dig a3?
Yeah. I think at this point I probably should just finish the job on a3 if I'm given the opportunity, although I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm too risk averse to let that stay there if I'm you.
At least drop a
Yeah,
priest in
exactly.
there. The thing is, I'm not super confident on my game by any stretch, so...
And I don't actually need coin that much.
right.
That's the other thing.
And then witches take a bridge, and then engineers, you take coins, but maybe you want a dig, and then I don't get coins, and then it goes back to... I don't know who's getting coins here.
Well, I do have the digging bonus, right? So
Oh, that's right, so you probably just take coins, because they're coins.
I do have to do math for this town. I can't avoid it any longer.
I mean, I think that the thing is I will probably need to try to, well, yeah, interrupt that town. I think that's
I was
worthwhile.
thinking
Like,
landscape on E2 is rubbish as well because I can't upgrade it. So there's no, like,
on E,
I guess F1
yeah,
would
yeah.
have a neighbor.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would get another town here unless you double dig D1, which maybe that's what you're thinking, and then use spade E2, because that's pretty expensive for me to... I guess I could still invest a priest to try to slow you down.
So I'm sitting here wondering if it's actually beneficial for me to take coins and just hope one of you doesn't bridge block me, because
Ugh. Well,
I don't know.
you have two cults, you're on a pass tile, you're doing pretty good for points, and it's a witch's town. I don't have the power
Yeah.
And
to do it.
I need a bridge as well. I'll take a bridge.
And I think...
Oh right,
Honestly.
yeah, that's true. You will. Okay, so
And your inherent scoring like advantage is towns. So blocking a town for
yeah.
witches is twice the fun.
I would have pulled a Weber and taken coins and lost the town for it.
Yeah, I think witches are particularly vulnerable to being town blocked, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's super easy to do that to them.
It's just worth more as well to do it against witches. Okay, let me just think quickly. What do I pay? Coins just to block them? Dig?
I don't know. I mean, how many more structures are you trying to get down? Do you have...
Okay, well I want to get or do I think even workers? Could do with 8 workers, right? I think I might take workers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's wrong. I'm going to do it. Well, will anyone else take the workers?
I don't have enough power to do it. Yeah. I don't think, Ronsma, I expect you wouldn't, only because you hard dug. So if you hard dug and only to take workers, it would have just made more sense for you to open with a single spade and A3.
I just took them. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's right.
Alright, so the coins are back.
Coins are back.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, okay. Doesn't feel right, does it?
EJ, I don't think there was pressure on workers, no. Could be wrong, like super wrong there, but.
Okay.
There might be from me if I could afford them, oddly. Just because I pass on to coins and.
So as annoying as this is, I actually think it's correct because I don't think there's any world in which I get 3 ship here.
No.
So I actually think I take single dig and hard dig C7 because that allows me to potentially take a ship and only get to 1 ship. And
Oh.
Because I have enough workers and economy for 2 hard digs this round to make my town.
That makes a good bit of sense to me, only because it saves 8 coins on shipping.
And I don't have coins to do that with unless I take
so
a
this
coin
is
town,
cheaper?
which I could do, but someone else could take it too, so it'd be really risky to not do that. I don't know. I feel like it's probably the right move here.
Probably. And just to respond to chat, I mean, I'm gonna dig E1 with priests. So if he can still figure out a town, like if he, I don't know, was gonna like double dig D1 and then use his spade on E2, like maybe he gets away with the town. But E1's pretty easy for me to mess with. I'm letting everyone get away with stuff. Yeah, I guess so.
They're provoking you. Don't listen to them, Weber. They're trying to rile you up.
Yeah, they are. They want to see some blood. It's true that I probably like invest way too much in like a faction that has the ability to mess with people, and then I don't actually use it for that.
And hey, I'm biased. I mean, I guess it's not really D1 or E1 I'm necessarily looking at, right? Because I can do a land bridge town via B2. It's a bit more expensive, perhaps.
Like double bridge, B3 A1, B3 to D3, and then land bridge to A1 from B3. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't. Then no one could mess. I think.
This is going to seem really, really silly, but I just realized there's totally like a sick late game Darklings town up in the northwest from D1 to A2 that I totally should have planned for better economically.
That's actually great too, especially in this matchup where like I'm not in the west right now.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about.
And you have all these neighbors here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a lot more stuff.
Now that I have so much coin, I think taking the priest makes sense. Usually since
I
it
think
will be
there's-
3 Gosling.
Yeah, the
B3
work.
is also nice because I can link now with 2 ships. I'm basically linked, which
Right.
is, so that's nice. Two shipping linking.
Yep. Yeah, darn, there's totally a line here where I do pass for where I take fire 2, pass for the shipping scoring, upgrade ship. I probably have enough stuff, and then take, like, it would involve a coin town or a worker town, but shoot for another town up here. I definitely have the digs for it. I won't have the structures now when I build this. That's pretty annoying. But anyhow, I'll just do this. Now, what town am I taking? Am I just taking a worker town? Or is a 2-key town worth the 5 extra points? Can't be. I mean, it secures... NG will still win Earth, probably. And Temple for stuff. I probably get my second on air. As opposed to NG just sending a priest there. Huh. It gets me 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 power, which fills my power bowl. Someone in chat talk me out of 2 keys if it's really awful here. But it might be kind of okay. Are those points worth more? Is that, like, the points I'm getting from cults and the power? Well, the power is enough for a worker. So this effectively comes with a worker. T1 just says take workers. Alright, I'll listen to you. Sounds good.
I actually think I maybe should have taken fire 2 instead of air 1 with that temple.
Get second on fire.
Well, not even that. I think it's that I need 1 more power in order to have enough stuff to build my town this way. And now I need 5 workers and 3 coins to do what I'm gonna do, I think. Which I have. Okay. Okay, I'm okay. Never mind. I was a little worried for a second there, but I'm okay.
Question from me actually, Weber. If I take the 2-key town, I get 2, 4, B5 extra point from the card.
Yeah, you get 2 on water, 2 on earth, 1 on air from me, but it also just probably secures second from NG, so the points there are kind of hard to calculate, but it could be like 1 to 3. Yeah? Is that like 7 points in power?
Yes, and I get 6 power.
I mean, at this point, I took the last worker town, so it's that or what? A power town or a coin town? 2 keys. Yeah, yeah. 2 keys has got to be pretty worth it for you here.
So
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah, that's a pretty high point value for the 2-key town, I think, especially if you can somehow win Earth. Like, that's good.
Which, yeah, someone makes a good point. EJ, like, makes the fact of me taking it maybe better. The only other thing is, workers here, I have tons of coins. This means I can get out... I have 6 workers right now, effectively. So I can get out 2 more trading posts and 2 more dwellings with that worker town. Which is 15 points. So... I guess I just, well, I'm just going to turn this to black for now. I actually don't have a dwelling to place there, which is silly. But I think that's my new plan, is basically just, yeah. 2 trading posts, 2 dwellings.
It's a pretty massive town you have down in the southwest there.
Yeah, and I can't believe I didn't see this. 2 trading posts and 2 dwellings, and I have 2 priests left. Literally, that's this town right here. That's a 6-point town. This is so bad. if I had Fire 2 and did this in a different build order, like I literally wouldn't have even had to do anything different economically. It's just another town.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I
You
mean?
didn't
Like,
even need the bridge, really.
my build order is literally going to be 2 more digs somewhere and 2 dwellings and 2 trading posts. Like, it's so ridiculous. But I mean, I don't know what I would have gotten from it. Probably a ship town, so like a 7-point town at the end. So, as opposed to Air 1, I don't know. So what am I doing now? Instead of getting a nicer town, I'm giving someone a leech. Let's give Alex a leech. So who's winning this game? It's super not clear. Alex passes for points and has 2 cults. And connects.
And I got one more town coming in this round. It really isn't super clear. I would have to do the math. It's going to be pretty close, though. I think we're all having a pretty decent game. This is the best game I've ever had with witches on this map, so it makes me happy.
So is the trick to playing witches just being sandwiched against engineers? Apparently.
Maybe? I don't know.
No.
Stealing F8 from Darklings at the beginning of the game? It's probably a good witches trick. I've never seen this town on the east happen before, but I think that's kind of the intended witches town on this map. So.
Not with adjacency, and I think that's often the problem. Is someone either interrupts it or no one's there. But you had best of both worlds because I placed on F7 and then didn't interrupt you, so that does help.
Yeah, so templing for Air 1 wasn't a mistake here, but for a second I thought it might have been.
Oh, okay, you greeted the points, but yeah, this is so much better.
I greeted so much for like a little bit of leech, and it worked out that I was good here to do this.
Oh, this is great. So you're doing 3 non-fire 2 towns. Yeah, I mean, this is 3 towns with getting Air 1 and 2 cults.
Digging C7 was probably the best decision because it allowed me to connect without having to upgrade ship 3 times, which was like the big struggle this round. So
that was a really good spot. I wouldn't have.
It also takes a hex away from NG, which helps, but they're still probably gonna win network, I'd imagine.
Yeah, must.
Unless you can catch them, you might be able to.
Me? No, because I don't have a landscape that I can place, and I have a stranded dwelling.
Oh, that's true.
Otherwise, yes, I'd have the stuff and the digs to do that all. But yeah, I'm down a landscape and a dwelling.
So you'll probably time me on network this game then, I'd imagine.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 14.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have 3 structures left.
Whoa. No, I think I've done
Do it. Do it.
I don't need it. I don't think I need it.
A 7 for 6?
Are you sure?
Zora says engineers can do more with power than any other faction, so.
Especially when all the power actions have been taken already.
In round 6, yeah, when you've already hit your point ceiling? I don't know, maybe not.
Actually, I do need it.
To make a town
You do need it? Are we seeing a 7?
I do need it.
Oh, no.
Okay, so this is what I'm going for.
Alright.
I've gone quiet because I've been trying to do maths while you guys are talking, but I appreciate it's an open table stream. But I think I need a temple, fire 2 bridges, and a dwelling.
Sounds like you need 7 for 6. I haven't counted, but that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so exactly. So that's 4, 5, 6 workers, and I've only got 5, so I must need it. And then in terms of coins, it's 4, 5. So I've got the coins, and I need a worker, so I'm gonna have to take it. Sheesh. Well, this town better be worth more than 6 freaking points.
Well, a power town is worth exactly 6 points, so it's probably a wash, but you get style points on this stream.
But I also get the points for building things.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
yeah, your favorite tile points. So like the town bonus helps you pay for it, and then you just build out your network more. I don't know.
So I think I'd go Priest of Fire here because I think you're digging with your priests, and I don't think there's any world in which someone can overtake me on water at this point. I'm pretty sure that's the right call.
I think
like
that's
you
safe.
could if you put both of your priests in water potentially. No, you couldn't even take me if you did that, and neither could nomads. So I think I'm okay to do that. Secures me at least 2 points on fire, which is nice.
So T1 says Deep Finesse says NG should never define leech. So, there we go.
What if it's like 9 for 8?
Apparently DF says never.
That's a lot of points to lose for 9 power in round 6.
So what I'm trying to figure out here is, like, I'm only building one more structure. So I build a trading post, I burn my power for another worker, and then I get out a dwelling, which means I have an extra priest. So I can just dig something for 2 points. Or is it worth 2 points in air? Question is, what are nomads doing? They need an extra priest to connect. So nomads don't have any more priests. They have a cult step, which takes them to 5. So I still don't beat nomads. So it gives me 2 points. The only way it's worth it is if Ghostly needs his priest as a worker. And then doesn't 5 power. Oh, it's pretty gross. It's like gambling. It's probably not terrible, but who do I give power to? I'm building a trading post here. I guess I just give engineers 3 for 2 as opposed to a 2 for 1 and nomads free power. It's probably the case.
Oh man, that Deep Finesse has got a lot to answer for.
Deep Finesse says NG should never decline leech.
Fine, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna
have a
go for this.
permanent mouse cursor over the accept button when you're playing NG. I look at NG's board, I'm always like, building their stronghold is like a necessity. But then I never see people build their stronghold, so...
Yeah, it depends, I think. Like, I've got no bridges out, right? So
True,
if I had
right.
if I had bridge strategy, then I see. They're just really expensive. And if you got no bridges out...
It's gotta be good though if you can get like all 3 bridges out by round 4 or something, because it's worth a lot of points then. I guess 27 points by the end of the game.
Yeah, it's Chris Ho's dream game, right? To get, I don't know what round he wants to get his bridges out by, but he really wants to give it a test run. I think when I first started as well, I always used to just rush bridge and stronghold.
Right.
I guess Thoras' Ultimate Guide is super helpful in that one as well.
Yeah, step 1 for engineers, ignore their faction ability.
Yeah, and it freaks everyone out.
Yeah.
I guess actually I only need 1 bridge here because I've now freed up a TP, which is nice. So I even don't... Did I need the leech? Yeah, probably.
So nomads tie engineer. Oh no, engineers will win network, and Lynn, you and I get tie for 3rd, I guess.
So we get 3 points each.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually
And-
was thinking about it, and if I fire 2'd for this town, I could have gotten another dwelling out this round, probably. Or if I fire 2'd for my sanctuary town, I could have gotten both towns and had a lot of resources to get my network 15, which might have actually counted for something this game. So I guess we'll see how much. I don't think I win here, but I guess we'll see how much I lose by, and then if sharing network would have gotten me that, it would have been worth it.
I think with my last priest, I know I can get 2 points with a swing on 2 to you, Lyns, and fire. Air, probably it's just going to be neutralized against NG. Well, NG goes priest to fire then.
Yeah, probably.
And then I get, but I'm not counting your resources super closely. Like you just need to build a dwelling, and then you can 5 power priest down, and then, oh no, you need another bridge. I guess I should count your resources. So you need 3
I don't think I do actually anymore. I just put a TP on D2 and the town's done.
Right, and then you have 2 dwellings left, which you can place one of on A6 to win
A8,
network.
yeah.
A8 rather, so I can spam that, but then so you need a worker and 2 coins, which gives you like 4 or 5 power left, plus 4 more from here, so it's like 9 power, so that's the equivalent of like another priest. So you have effectively 2 priests if you just go trading post. Or I don't know. You still build an A8, so you win network and you still have a priest to play with. I'm not really sure if it's better to...
I think that's right, unless you have A8.
Which might make sense, but then you just bridge and win. See, I don't actually know. I'll just do this. If this were like a really close arena game, I'd be counting out everyone's points right now, figuring out where I am in the place order, and then trying to figure out like all these different possible closings to try to figure out like what makes the most sense.
So what, power towns are the best towns now?
I guess. I mean, a ship town is worth, 8 points, sort of.
That's
A
true.
power town
That's
is
true.
worth 6 points, and then you need to make up those additional 2 points with 8 power, which is 4 and bowl 3, which is like a worker and a coin, or almost a priest. So maybe a ship town, given that you're at ship 2. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Good call.
But you can probably trading
Especially-
post dwelling priest to like air here or something, right?
Yeah, especially
priest
now
to
you've used
fire.
your priest.
Yeah.
You've used your priest, so... Oh,
As
right.
funny as it is I think that I should have probably actually taken a power town with my town, because my priest of fire might amount to nothing if NG puts a priest in there. But if I took a power town, I could have upgraded ship as well, and it would have been worth 2 more points to me total to the table.
Right.
Power town's OP, man. Gotta take power town. That's what I'm
Overpowered. Yeah, I guess, literally. It's 8. It's 8 power.
It is. It is 8 power.
It
Oh.
must be OP. The most OP thing in the game.
Yep.
I guess I just pass here for 4, and I have a resource point. So I'm at 129, 132 with network, and then cults, which are somewhere between, I don't know, depends on whether you send a priest of fire or probably you do.
Oh man, now I should do all the math again. I guess I send it to fire. Math done.
Yeah, so I get 3 on fire.
Can't get another... Oh, I could get another dwelling out instead, which is 4 points. But not swing points.
Might be worth more points to you than time.
You go up by 3 and me down by 1. So it's 3 to the table, 4 to me. A dwelling is just 4 to everyone. So I think you building a dwelling is equally as bad for me, actually. To you.
I'll just put it here.
Yeah, I think putting it in fire is correct, because you take points from me and black. So it's like
Yeah, I guess it's a,
Okay.
it's a
you get,
swing
this,
of.
you get the same amount of points for it anyway.
Yeah,
So it's not like...
fair enough. Yeah, good game, everyone. This was a lot of fun. I still don't really know who's winning this. Witches of two cults, but no network points. Engineers are getting 18 and 8 at the end. Seems good. Engineers have this then.
That was quite stressful doing it on chat.
Yeah.
It's a totally new thing, right?
Yeah, Ghost, I think you took this, right?
Yeah, funny enough, I think that tying for network with nomads might have gotten me a little bit closer to potentially winning this one, but I think NG still take it regardless.
Yeah.
Because it would have been 2 points for the dwelling that I placed, and I would have gotten
Huh, it's
9
closer than I
points
thought.
instead of 3 for network. So it would have got me second, I think, if I would have tied network instead of the way that I did it.
So what do you guys think were my biggest blunders this game? Like, what could have I done to make up the points? Well, I guess just mess with engineers with my 18,000 priests, probably.
Yeah, I definitely think you could have done more with the priest to mess with people. It's just too easy, right? And too costly for other people.
Yeah. Because I think the only reason it makes sense for me not to mess with people with my priest is if I actually used my priest effectively to like go for 2 towns and network or something. But I didn't end up doing that, right? I thought I'd want my priests to do more clever things, but in the end I just ended up digging stuff like it. So.
And F7 must be a mistake, right? On hindsight, at least.
F7. Yeah.
Like you're starting. Yeah.
I think not digging F8 first action was probably
Possible. I think at the time that I placed it, I didn't think I was getting big building. So it made sense to me because I think I was going to first action dig F8 and still get Earth 1, right? Because if someone takes the big building, someone's probably opening Stronghold. That was my thought there. But then when the big building came to me, it's hard for me to... And A5 and C4 is where people were upgrading. It was like, I can get the big building pass tile and a shitload of leech. So that just equals a sanctuary.
You give up connection? Like, well, basically, you could have had one extra. You could have had 15 structure. Well, you do have 15 structure, just one's not linked.
Yep, exactly.
So that's actually quite valuable if you look at the final points.
For sure. It would have been a very different game for me. I mean, and the round 1 sanctuary was like, building it in round 2 was actually more points. So it was just getting the fire 1 earlier in the second priest production, which is quite valuable. But I could have just easily built it round 2. I could have still taken the big building bonus and just used it as the workers, right? Because you need workers round 1. So it might have made sense still for me just to like dig F8. First action, build a temple for Earth 1, take a coins action instead, and like build a sanctuary the next round. But it would have been interesting because I would have cut off a witch's town here in the east up to D8, and then I would have had to connect through like the sort of B6, B7 stuff like in and around there. So I just would have played completely on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it would have been a completely different game because if you went that way, I probably would have went the opposite way and messed with engineers a little bit more.
Yeah, it would have really changed the texture of the game.
I might not
really think
my stronghold there.
You've got enough on the board to have 3 towns.
Yeah.
So if just look at C1, B2. There would be a way with different starting positions, perhaps, that you could get yourself 3 towns here.
Absolutely.
Using the same amount of resource.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I built a lot of stuff early, and I felt like in terms of like the moves I made economically were quite strong. Like, I sort of hit the track nicely. It all felt good economically, but all these early moves of like C2 to E3 to F2, right? Like, those aren't... I mean, F2 was only part of a town. It probably never should have been, to be honest, or this bridge was a mistake. So in a sense, those next 3 hexes I took were not really super helpful. But like, had I started F7 B4, then I'm immediately all that like early economic growth that I'm doing, digging and building dwellings, I'm carving out 2 towns at the same time. So yeah, it was a little funky. Didn't Nerdcube recently say double West Darklings are strong? Yeah, like what, like b4 and e3.
Yeah, I think he had a games where he started before in E3 and won. He took basically E1, D1, C1, B2 as a turn, I believe.
e1. What were those hexes
E1,
again? e1, e2.
E1, D1,
Yes.
C1. So he went around.
Right, right.
He went that way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Any final thoughts on your guys' games? Like things you might have done differently, or like big moments in the game that you felt like you got away with something good that really helped your game, or where something didn't break for you that kind of messed you up or made you sort of like change your strategy? Like what were sort of the big moments for you guys?
I think the big thing that I did wrong here was not fire 2ing for my sanctuary town.
What would have that done differently for you as opposed to going with the
It-
sort of point greed air one strategy?
Well, fire 2ing for sanctuary town might have gotten me 1 or even 2 more structures on the board, and still would have had the same result in the game. Like I would have gotten the town in the north as well. But 2 temples would have gotten me a free extra structure because of my landscape, which offers up a little bit more, I guess.
I see.
I don't know. I feel like it would have made it easier to compete on network, and I feel like network's the place where I lost a lot of points in the end there. So
Right, fair enough.
It's really interesting that we end up at 14 being the lowest network.
Yeah.
It's really high for everybody.
Yeah, it is high.
Why is that? So many coins on the path. Maybe one reason. Like it's a big econ. I guess the track favored a big econ game.
It
'Cause,
did.
yeah, that's massive. There's a lot of wood on the board.
Yeah, it's quite filled up.
I mean, nomads and engineers tend to do good on network, so we have two pretty strong economic factions there. Alex played a very econ witches game going into like, you know, air 2 into a stronghold basically, right? Like that was, so that I think probably helped with the network. And you didn't get in the way of engineers and vice versa that much. Like I think you guys played about as cordial of a game as you could have on this map.
I think Air 2,
As opposed to just wrecking each other, which results in lower network, obviously, if you're trying to play on the same part of the map and you're just spending the whole game smashing each other.
Yeah, engineers and witches could totally mess each other up a lot more than we did, I think.
I think for me, why it was a decent network game, and again, I had 15 structures on the board, they just weren't all connected, which is pretty good for Darklings, is I got amazing early leech. I think you guys were very generous in leech, and things broke really well early game for me that I didn't have to like choose between two awkward things. Like I basically did my turns as I wanted and then just passed for the big building bonus into 7 coins. Like that happened once early. Like there was just a couple of like, my early game was kind of like autopilot easy. And the track just sort of, you know, I built dwellings during the dig round in round 3. I templed up for an easy water 1 in round 4. Like so I didn't have to make tough choices between like following the track and building my building my economy. So I think that, and so that plus early leech and good breaks just sort of allowed, at least personally me, for my economy to sort of do pretty good things. Yeah, cool. Any sort of final thoughts as we wrap up, guys? Or any final questions in chat if you have them about anything you saw or questions you have for any of the players with this next couple of minutes, just hit us up in chat. I'm happy to go through them. But yeah, any final thoughts from any of you guys as we wrap up?
Just to say thank you. It's been a pleasure being here. And yeah, thanks for the invite. It's been a load of fun. And big up again to Rincevent for all his amazing work on PGA. It's really incredible. In the green room, we were all commending him, so I'd like to do it just while we're live as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. For anyone who's still watching, if any of you are interested in coming on and playing, there aren't really any particular ELO requirements or anything like that. If you're interested in doing this, just send me a message. It's easy to find me on BGA or Discord. Just send me a message, and I'm happy to connect with you and try to figure out a time for you guys to get on. And in terms of upcoming streams, obviously we were talking about T1 did have to head out, but we did mention the that new tournament that he's planning. So the links are earlier in the chat if you didn't catch that when we were talking about it. He's starting a new tournament working with Zoris. It's going to be on Tuesday evenings. The links to the details are on Board Game Geek in the forums, or you can just sort of scroll up a little bit, and he's got links to registration, which is now open, and a link to the BGG post that contains all the details about how it works. Rainier, I believe, if is going to be streaming an all-player commentary shortly. If not, I don't know if he's already gone live, but he mentioned to me he was doing one later today. So check out his Twitch channel just to make sure you catch that stream as well, because it's really good stuff. And then, of course, we've got the final game of the International Clash before we go into the finals. So it's the fifth game is happening. Pre-final game is happening next Saturday. So you should make sure you check that out as well. I think those are all the announcements. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.